Have you ever heard of Rivera? Picture this, a 32-year-old writer who is happily married with no history of mental illness. On May 16th of 2006, at around 6:30 p.m., he gets a phone call, bolts out of his home in Baltimore, runs back in to grab something, and then leaves again. 8 days later, they find his body in a conference room at the Belvedere Hotel with a giant gaping hole in the roof above him. Weird, right? So, initially, the authorities leaned towards a self-delete, suggesting he probably jumped from the hotel's roof. The autopsy revealed multiple injuries like fractured ribs, punctured lungs, and a broken right leg. The medical examiner noted that these were definitely consistent with a fall from a significant height. Good enough. Case closed. Well, not really. You see, one thing that the medical examiner didn't mention was any spinal injuries, which is pretty unusual for a fall from such a large height. On top of that, Rivera's glasses and cell phone were found near his body, and both of them were essentially undamaged. And so this started raising a few eyebrows about this whole situation. Then they discovered a note taped behind his computer, filled with a bunch of references to prominent figures, movies, and the Freemasons. The FBI analyzed it and concluded that it wasn't indicative of any intention on self-deleting. So with that out of the way, the call that got him on his toes for his sudden departure came from the switchboard of Agora Publishing, which, oddly enough, is the parent company of the firm where he worked. And through all the investigations that were done, where it was through a switchboard, they could never trace down from whom or what office it came from. Following his disappearance, his employer instructed employees not to speak to the media, and a man named Porter Stansberry said the whole office he worked within was on a retreat at this time. This is verified information, so there's really no reason to doubt him. And the last part that I find extremely strange about this case is that someone kept calling the police looking to get their hands on his computer, which again, just like everything else in this, is very odd. So there's some facts for you. What's your thoughts on this case? If you have any cases you'd like to see covered, please leave them in the comments below and make sure to hit that follow button so you can be notified when I post them.